you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseater here, and today I got my boy Cal here, and apparently Actual Fandom has released this video about 2 weeks ago saying that Wolverine was literally, in all caps, created to check boxes and pander to readers. Now, Cal, since I know you quite like Wolverine, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, he does check a few boxes, like him being a manlet. But the thing is, you're insulting the short kings. I highly recommend reconsidering your actions.
Yeah.
The short kings, I'm tall, but they try to launch themselves at me, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah.
Highly reconsider your actions. Comic book, uh, accurate Wolverine is a very interesting Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Overall, Wolverine is one of the more interesting characters they have in Marvel currently.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because Marvel has really abandoned their best product, that being X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done anything really good with it lately. It's been a lot of just trash.
Yeah, pretty much.
What else has Marvel been doing? Because I don't remember anything else outside of, oh, yeah, they've done that, but that wasn't very good.
What are you looking at?
You know they made a comic book where they had a bunch of Greenpeace activists, and they're just going around fucking killing people in grocery stores and shit like that.
Oh,
Because they found a plastic bag in the ocean.
I remember that.
To
I remember that.
Turtle or inside
that.
Turtle, yeah.
I fucking the girl
Like,
with the deer antlers. I fucking remember that book. Yeah.
And the least actual real interesting Marvel X-Men character is a guy called Forget Me Not. I think that's his name. Literally unrememberable character. You literally cannot remember him.
Yeah.
That's his entire gimmick.
Yeah.
He literally sacrifices his entire existence. Now, I gotta actually go through and read all of the X-Men comics when I get money one day, but seriously, man. When this character, everything I've heard, I've heard people go over that story, and the guy sacrifices himself, and no one remembers it. Saves everyone. The character, if it, just that character is just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. If you're gonna go and insult the X-Men series, you're going to need to do it hyper specifically. Because if you're going to go about this, you're going to need to remember this is a very, very popular series with everyone. And some of the major characters in universe are literally characters
Mm-hmm.
who are just
They're just
how do I
great.
say it properly? They're great, but the problem with that, everything going on there.
What?
The problem overall is yeah, there's a whole bunch of great characters, but the great characters we're referring to are controversial if you were to take them out of it. Things like who would you say the most infatuating villain of the X-Men series is?
Infatuating?
People just probably wrong word for use the most interesting, the most character people are fascinated sort of thing. I would say it's Magneto.
I'd say
He
Magneto
is
too. Yeah.
literally a Jew who survived the Holocaust
Mm-hmm.
and became a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
You have Doomsday and all the rest of them. A lot of them just want to kill everyone.
You mean Apocalypse?
Apocalypse, yeah, sorry. I like Batman as well. Batman's
Yeah.
the other one I like. Batman's a very, very good character.
Right. Well,
and like there's like so much more stuff going on. Like they're all so interesting.
right. Well, we can get more in depth with that in the video proper. So without further ado,
Yeah.
let's jump into it, shall we?
Yeah.
At least the music's good. Oh, now it just got bad.
This is a book that I got myself for my birthday. It's called Wolverine, Creating Marvel's Legendary Mutant. And just based on the ratings and the reviews that I saw for it, it's like, if you're a Wolverine fan, you own this book, or you ain't a Wolverine fan. So they're really gatekeeping my ass with this. It's a beautiful hardcover. It's by Mike Avila. Is officially licensed by Marvel. And there's some interesting details around the creation of the character Wolverine that I would like to discuss with you. Most people know that Wolverine was created in, what year was it? 1974?
Yeah.
So this is about 10 years after the Marvel Age began. The Marvel Age being, heralded by Fantastic Four, Thor, Spider-Man, the Avengers. A lot of people know that. He appeared in as a foe for the Hulk.
Mhm.
In '74, things were already pretty different for Marvel Comics and the characters that they were introducing and the types of origin stuff.
Yeah.
Just 10 years prior, you had things as you had origins and backstories as pure and innocent as Peter Parker's. His origin, which
Oh
took
yeah,
place in
Peter
Amazing
Parker's very pure origin of he basically wanted like money and fame, and he was so arrogant that he let a robber go, and this robber ultimately killed his uncle, who's also his father figure. Yeah, real pure and innocent origin right there, Inadane. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's the folly of the character. That's
Hmm.
something I would say about that. It's just like, oh, this character, he wants fame and all that sort of stuff, and he lets a guy go when he really should not have done that.
Yeah.
And he pays the price of a bad action begots a bad action.
Karma's just a bitch like that. Not the character Karma, of course, the concept, but yeah. Anyway, moving on.
We're 15, in case Eric July's watching and you're reminded of that.
Okay. Hang on. So, frickin' Cal, do you know the context behind this?
I don't think I remember who Eric July is.
He is the YouTuber Young Rippa59, and he's also the guy who runs Rippaverse Comics. He's the writer and creator.
Black guy?
Yeah, he's a black guy. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't stop coughing. Anyway, so okay, hang on. I'm gonna hang on. He's probably gonna show footage from this.
You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
So that guy who said, like, you've read Amazing Fantasy 15, right? That guy is Organized Chaos, a guy who I've covered a fucking lot on my channel, for those who may remember. But, so Bob, Organized Chaos, he was debating Eric July, and basically, like I don't know, Bob was basically trying to like lead Eric on like some like really like specific train of thought or whatever. I can't quite remember because it's been a while since I saw it. But he's basically like, you've read Amazing Fantasy 15, and Eric just isn't falling for it. And he's dodging the question because he doesn't want to get wrapped up in Bob's bullshit, because Bob is the kind of guy who will do that. But yeah, so he's basically like, you've read Amazing Fantasy 15, you know who debuted in that, right? And it's like, it's just like this stupid part of the debate. It is what it is, and it's just Bob trying to make, and yeah, here's Bob and Dane doing Spin Doctor stuff, trying to make Eric July look like an idiot. That's what this fucking is. Hang on, let me play the rest of it here.
Go back to ISOM. What about it are you asking? What specific
Wait. You've
what
read
specific
you've read Amazing
what
Fantasy number
specific
15,
action?
right?
Yeah. You see how freaking Bob at the top is basically trying to lead Eric along, right? He's like, "You've read Amazing Fantasy 15," and July doesn't want to talk about that at all. See how he got that?
Action are you asking? Pretend. No. I'm not getting stuck on this one. You've read Amazing Fantasy number 15, right?
I would probably, I don't know, say, yeah, I've read it. It's a good book. Can we get back to like the actual topic here?
Yeah.
Let's talk about ISOM.
Because
You just asked me a question.
this really does feel like a filibuster.
This is a yeah.
As an Australian, I must mention the filibuster has been banned in this country for a while now, and I will not let anyone filibuster because it's the only good thing my country's done lately in the last 20 years. Remember, a politician literally swam into the ocean and no one cared to go find him.
I didn't hear about that. Anyway.
Oh, that happened like several decades ago.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Like he's like, look at this. He's trying to say like, Eric doesn't know what like. I don't even know if this is Eric's chat or whatever. I don't know for a fact if it is. It's like he's trying to. It's like, Eric July had to rely on his chat to answer this question for him. It's like, again, I don't really trust Dane to present this honestly and fairly. I legit think this is some spin doctoring. I'm sorry, just knowing Bob and Dane, they're not worth giving the benefit of the doubt. Anyway.
There are plenty of people that don't know who Spider-Man is, dipshit.
Suffering Steve Ditko. How can you not know that Spider-Man first appeared in 1962's classic Amazing Fantasy number 15?
I didn't know that because it's
Pretty simplistic and
ancient thing. Like people who are younger aren't gonna know, but like even like some fans will not know precisely which one it came from. They'll know about the character, but not precisely which one. Like super fans, sure, but like this person, I want to call him a character, but he's not really a character. I don't think he knows it. I think he's had to like Google it repeatedly.
Yeah.
That's just the feeling I get. Like he just doesn't feel like a fan. He feels like a guy who keeps doing like in-depth research, but the research he's doing in-depthly is I really don't want this person to win sort of research.
Yeah. Anyway, let's hear what we're finally back on topic. Let's see what Dane has to say.
In like a altruistic kind of origin, he made a mistake. Peter Parker as a teenager, as teenagers are wont to do, for the same reason that a lot of teenagers do make mistakes in real life, is he was trying to get laid. Didn't you had Captain America can't get more pure than that?
No, Spider-Man's origin story has nothing to do with getting laid. What the hell are you on about, Dane?
Okay, I think I know the issue here.
What?
I think he's thinking about what he wishes he could do.
You think?
Yeah, because I don't think he's getting laid.
Yeah, maybe. But no, seriously, like, I've read Amazing Fantasy 15, and there is nothing about Peter Parker wanting to get, like, a laid or a girlfriend or whatever. The closest thing I think what Dane is talking about is that at the very beginning, when it's Peter Parker, he is talking with this girl. Her name is Sally Averill. And he's talking with her, and he's like, "Hey, Sally, do you and the rest of your friends want to come to the science fair?" Because, Peter Parker is just a dorky science type like that. And they're all like,
fucking nerd.
Yeah, it's like, no, nerd, piss off. We're going down to, like, the fucking football game or whatever the hell it was, or whatever the hell was popular in the 60s. See ya. So they leave him behind, and then Peter's like, well, I guess I'll go by myself. That's it. It's like, you could argue, it's like, he just wants, like, friends or something, but, like, that's not the same as getting laid. Christ, Dane. Anyway, hang on.
Look, man, there's like been this thing like I play Yu-Gi-Oh for fun,
Mhm.
and there's been like this weird little thing I've been noticing of why do people keep saying the Exo-Sister archetype is like a lesbian archetype?
What?
I think it's literally yeah, it's like there's an archetype. I literally think the only reason they're calling it that is because there are female characters and they don't know what friends are. Unless it's like some sort of joke, but like I don't get like anyone who's like saying it. I honestly don't like. Okay,
I'm looking.
I think
I'm
you're just outed.
looking
You don't know
the.
what a friend is.
I'm looking the archetype up right now. They're just like young girls in like maid outfits. Where's the
I think
lesbianism?
yeah, I don't know. That's like the thing. Like I've seen it. Like I go, something's wrong here. I can feel it. Because honestly, sometimes, like, I don't know if it's the males in the game doing it or if it's like the other entities, as I'm gonna call them.
The Alphabet Mafia.
No, there are no women in Yu-Gi-Oh. Sounds like a joke, but it's really not.
All right. Anyway, let's move on.
It's just not something. It's just not something else enjoy.
Your life is he was trying to get laid. Then you had Captain America. Can't get more altruistic and pure than that. But in the late '60s, early '70s, culture started taking some turns, man.
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
And you'd had by this point, by the way, if you aren't aware, the X-Men had been introduced in the '60s. Along with many of those others that became the most popular superheroes in the world, still are. However, the X-Men comic book was kind of a back burner type of book for Stanley, and it wasn't given the attention. And maybe it was.
Would you agree with that assessment, Cal?
I would say it got like the thing is like Stanley is one guy. He had a bunch of other guys working with him, but like if you're the main guy who keeps like doing the vast majority of the work and you have other passions at the same time, like I have stories myself where I want to do more stuff with it, but I haven't done more stuff with it. That's a bit of because of procrastination, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just not having enough time or ability to do something. So the thing is, if Stan Lee hasn't done this thing yet, but he's going to, and we know he did do it.
Yeah,
so
and
it's just one of those things of
Yeah, and keep in mind, the X-Men were created in like 1966, and by that point, Stan Lee was. I can't stop coughing tonight. I'm sorry, everybody. Yes, Stan Lee was pretty much the only writer at Marvel by that point. Like, he was writing all the fucking books, basically. He was writing out all the scripts on all those books. And it wasn't until, like, the super late 60s, like the very tail end, where Stan finally started relieving himself of writer's duties and letting other people take over the books for him, because by that point he was pretty much passing the mantle on to Roy Thomas to be editor, and Roy Thomas let everyone write all the other books. So I guess I'd agree with it. Like Stan, this was a back burner book for Stan, because keep in mind, like if you've read the books, you can kind of tell where Stan was putting a bit more of his effort into it. Like Fantastic Four, they certainly got more effort put into them from Stan than X-Men, definitely. But that and Spider-Man too.
That's even greater.
Yeah, because
all that stuff was also Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I mean,
one
yeah,
of the greatest writers to ever exist.
I'd agree. Jack Kirby's great, but I wouldn't say he's the greatest of all time. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Anyway, but yeah, it's like even then, it's like, you could definitely tell like where he was putting more effort into it. So I can kind of agree with this point that this was a back burner book, as Dane put it. But I'm willing to bet that's the only thing I'm gonna agree with Dane on in this. So moving on.
Decent idea that he had originally, but like after writing Fantastic Four, and Avengers, and whatever else he was writing at the time, he just didn't seem to put much into the X-Men, and he had not come across the allegory inherent to it that's just so obvious to us all now.
Well, yeah, of
So,
course.
Kind and treat of as well.
Well, yeah, of course. No, he means like the friggin' like, well, the X-Men are an allegory for minorities and whatnot. He means that. It's like, well, yeah, no dud Stan didn't discover that. It's because Stan Lee, despite being the creator of the X-Men, isn't the one who created that angle for them, Dane. Like, no shit.
I'm gonna keep saying some of the stuff like, because it is be kind to others, treat people correctly. Let's not go down the same path. Like, don't become the evil that you have witnessed. Be better, become like, be decent, stuff like that. You know,
Well,
ideological things. Of let's not become like fucking neo-Nazis.
Personally, Cal, I'd say that's just like basic morality, and as someone who's read all the issues that Stan Lee wrote for X-Men, he didn't really like get into all the racial stuff that we know the X-Men for now. Like, the closest Stan ever got to that was when he introduced the Sentinels, and the Sentinels, of course, it's like, oh, they're going haywire and they're about to kill everybody else and all that. We all know that story. But that's not, I wouldn't say that's really like an allegory for like Jim Crow or whatever the hell people like to say Stan drew from. Like, really, if you ask me, like, Stan, just based on the time in which Stan was writing it and just like what he more or less drew inspiration from, Stan was more or less drawing inspiration from like Cold War, Red Scare paranoia. That's really that. I wouldn't say it was a race thing or anything. It's just like, oh, your neighbor might be a communist or whatever the hell.
If anything, the Sentinels. If you want to draw a comparison, since like we know what happens with the Sentinels in the future for certain other bits of media, and what happens if the X-Men, fail, in their mission to like protect everyone and save the day. It could be basically compared to a giant nuclear holocaust.
Probably.
As well as the other thing of, do you remember that, small indie film? It didn't go fucking anywhere during like the 70s and 80s. It didn't go anywhere. Like, it literally didn't go anywhere. It's so fucking minute and small, no one would remember it. Called Terminator. Because it has that sort of vibe in it, that kind of thing. Man's machines used either to protect us, to do something, specifically war, with the X-Men and, Terminator. It rises up to defeat us. It has a I have no mouth, but I must scream feel if the Sentinels win.
Yeah.
Like, this is part of the issue, like, with people, like, okay, you clearly know nothing about, like, history or, literature. I'm a fucking, like, I'm brain dead, and I know this. Like, I'm fucking straight up an idiot. Like, and you can't figure this out, but I could. Like, something ain't right. Something's wrong here.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
From, I think it was number 66, X-Men number 66 was the last new issue of the book to come out.
Yes.
At the time, and it was canceled. It was just canceled. They didn't have any didn't know what to do with it. Wasn't selling.
It wasn't exactly canceled. It pretty much survived. What they did is that they kept the book going, but issues 67 to 92, I believe, or something like that, they were all reprints of older stories. That's kind of how they kept the book going. Then, and the X-Men characters were pretty much relegated to background cameos until Giant Size X-Men #1 came along, and that's the book where Wolverine officially became a member of the team. So yeah, that's pretty much how it actually went. The title wasn't really canceled, but that's a nitpick on my part.
So even though it wasn't selling, there were several creators who were working at Marvel already who did really enjoy it and were looking for an opportunity to get a crack at those characters. So fast forward to 1974.
I don't know how true that is,
so
but
it's
okay.
1969, I believe, is whenever that ended. Fast forward to 74, and you get the Incredible Hulk number 180 and 181. Yep, went into reprints. Yep.
There,
and
literally,
Wolverine's first appearance
his
is
chat
technically
corrected him.
180, but it's the last page, and that's all you get. So I think generally his full first appearance is actually 181. I think it's a cameo, considered a cameo in 180.
Yes, we know.
And this at this point in the comics, Hulk was a guy who needed constant enemies that could hang, that can roll with him. You know what I'm saying?
Stan,
and
we
at
know.
this point, Stan Lee had kind of passed on the editor-in-chief duties to one Roy Thomas.
Yes, we
and
know.
Roy Thomas, who was already becoming famous, and he got into Marvel when he was pretty young. Maybe I'll do a video about him sometime. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh Lord, that'll be a
he
good one.
He was the Stan Lee protege, Roy Thomas. He was the guy that Stan was like, this guy's gonna fucking do my job while I go make Hollywood money. I don't know what he was thinking, but
that was a terrible impression.
Bad Stan impression. I'm sorry. You had newish editor in chief Roy Thomas, and he's sitting there thinking like, what do we need to do? How do we keep current with what's going on in the world?
Fucking current days.
You got by this point you had Vietnam was going for several years. I'm just gonna read right from the book. So plagiarizing or whatever you want to call it. It's right here.
Just get to the damn point.
So. Plus, I can show you some images that you might not have seen before. I know there's a couple I had not seen. So here's just going to read from the introduction here. In 1974, a decade after the Marvel Age of Comics transformed the industry, a new slate of heroes emerged from the House of Ideas. As comics became more complex, so did their heroes. The Age of the Anti-Hero introduced the Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Blade. These characters, whose heroism was counterbalanced by cynicism and a certain antipathy toward following the status quo, reflected the issues and moods of the turbulent 1970s.
Any less boring?
It was the perfect time to introduce a more savage hero who would prove to be one of the most popular in the history of comics. Wolverine.
Yay.
His very first appearance in the final panel of Incredible Hulk number 180, the pint-sized dynamo delivers an energy that jumps off the page. And we can kind of look at that right here. This full, big-ass... That's it, right there.
Hooray. Well, I've already seen it 1,000 times.
Hopping into the fucking scene, man. He's just like...
Yes, we see it, Dane!
Knucklehead. Except you wasn't saying shit like that yet. Okay, so... As Marvel's superheroes extended their reach beyond the spinner racks and newsstands across America...
Oh my god. Okay, I'm speeding this up, Cal. I'm sorry. I gotta speed this up to preserve my sanity.
2.5 speed, like.
This is look. Oh my god, he is so boring, and what also doesn't help is that he constantly stammers.
Like, we can as well, but I really hope on the stream you also have music play in the background, like lo-fi or something.
Not that. I hate lo-fi. Ugh.
That's the reason I said or something, because
seriously, I know.
Something in the background, like I'm probably gonna guess most people probably even watching this is autistic or has tinnitus, because a lot of people who have either gone for like funny thing about the military.
Yeah.
Tankers are some of the biggest fucking nerds in the world. That's because the fucking tanks is like a giant basement of wheels.
Yeah. But Christ, Dane, clean yourself up. You look like a fucking hobo.
He looks like Volsh.
Yeah, he does. He looks like Diet Vouch. That's what he looks like. This guy's, oh my god. You just want to like take a freaking buzzer to his head, shave his beard off, his mustache, his man bun, his girly ass man bun off, and just like give him like a fucking makeover. It's like, Christ. Like, take care of your self-image, dude. I literally just did it today. It's not hard. Oh god, it's like, whatever.
So what we've got right here is the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics in 1974 deciding to pander to geographically specific readers.
Really?
It occurred to me that anywhere from 5 to 10% of our readers were Canadian who read in English.
Really?
Recalls Thomas, and yet there wasn't a single comic book character that I knew of in American comics that was Canadian. So I decided that we should have one.
Hold on.
Thomas brainstormed ideas and names, quickly eliminating beasts like the
literally
moose.
fine. You want to know why it's fine?
Why?
Because some diversity is fine. If you create a hero who is representing like Africa in general and you write it well, you're gonna create a character that will last an eternity, partially. Oh boy, what did Marvel do?
Yeah,
They did that. What character could I possibly be referring to? You know, what character could I possibly be referring to? Oh, Storm.
Black Panther.
Like, people are still mentioning Spawn. Like, I'm not bringing up Black Panther. I'm bringing up in universe thing. Like, Storm is one of the most popular characters still. Like, she's like a broken character. Like, there's a reason they bring the character in whenever the fuck they can.
Yeah.
It's a very, very popular character.
It's just like, it's like, I don't know. I just like, it's like, it's like, how, it's like, I really doubt this. I want to see like some, okay, so Roy Thomas is 5 to 10%. I'm sorry. I'd really like to see some numbers there. And, you know, I really doubt that, you know, okay, look, I really doubt that 5 to 10% is enough worth. It's like, hey, we got 5 to 10% of people reading our books are Canadian. Let's make a Canadian character. I really doubt that was the line of thinking, or at the very least, I really doubt that like that's good enough to create a whole fucking character. Honestly, it sounds more to me like, hey, let's make this character. Does this sound cool? Sure. What if we made them Canadian? Sounds all right to me. Let's make it. And it's just like, and it's, you know, I get what Dane is trying to do here. He's trying to basically equate, like, oh, Wolverine was made to represent a fucking minority, so it's totally okay when Marvel rolls out really shitty characters like Kamala Khan or Miles Morales or fucking Riri Williams or fucking hell, what the hell's that? Who's the illegal immigrant Falcon? What's his fucking name? Joaquin Torres. It's like, yeah, all these characters are fine. So if you like Wolverine, you have to be fine with these characters. No, Dane, we don't. They are not on the same level. Stop trying to drag down the popular characters to make your characters look better. I guarantee you that's what he's going to fucking do.
It came down to a pair of animals, Wolverine and a badger. I thought Wolverine was the stronger of those two names because a badger simply means to annoy somebody. Good point. From there, Thomas enlisted writer Len Wein, art director John Romita Sr. And this, by the way, cleared up quite a bit for me, the actual creation of the character Wolverine, because that's always been kind of, I was, you know, maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough, but I couldn't quite figure out who exactly should be credited for the, you know, the original creation, the ideas and everything, because there's like 4 people involved here, and this lays it out pretty well. So yeah, art director John Romita Sr., penciler Herb Trimpe, they created the pint-sized brawler, codenamed Wolverine. Back in the early 1970s, new characters were often introduced each month. Usually, a writer would conjure up an idea for a hero or villain and discuss it with the artist, who would then create a character on the page. The invention of Wolverine was an exception. because it began with Thomas's brainstorm to add a Canadian character to Marvel's roster. Romita Sr., whose design expertise had already birthed characters such as the Kingpin and Luke Cage, provided the sketches that would inform Wolverine's visual template. The legendary artist initially had no idea what he was conceptualizing. I thought a Wolverine was a female wolf. That was Romita Sr. Laughing in a 2012 interview in the Comics Reporter. I see a picture, and it described a small, ferocious character with tremendous claws, and it's cat-like.
Bro, can you stop reading the fucking book? We don't care about it anymore.
I described him as 5'4", 5'5". I also said he was very ferocious, always hungry. In other locations, I've read that Roy Thomas actually did. He wanted him to be short. He wanted him to be short, and he wanted him to be Canadian. Okay, so you've got identity. The characteristics of this guy were necessary to the creation. Like they had to be. The same way that like nowadays you might say that Kamala Khan.
No, Dane. See, I fucking told you. He's about to do it right now.
No, he just did it. He brought a Kamala Kane.
Oh, wait, hold on.
The bell, everyone.
Hold it. Let me.
We found him.
Might say that Kamala Khan was created as a Muslim.
I told you. He's trying to create a false equivalency here. I fucking called it, man. Christ.
Muslim American. Or
yeah, except here's the thing, Dane. Kamala Khan, literally, Kamala Khan's entire fucking point at this point is to be the Muslim one. All right, that's all she's got going for her. Because take that away, and take that away, and hell, take the Miss Marvel name from her, because Lord knows she hasn't fucking earned it. What is she? She's just a stretchy character with a freaking sitcom family for a supporting cast. That's all she is. Without that Muslim, if Kamala Khan came out today and she was like a white girl, like Carrie Can or some whatever, I don't know. Like we just have her release day. She's a white girl. No one would give a fuck about her. Feminists might, because she's a woman, but no, the freaking Muslim shit is the only thing carrying Kamala Khan as a character, and you should know that. Is Wolverine carried by the fact that he's kind of like a midget and he's Canadian? Fuck no, that's wrong. So stop creating this false equivalency. Fuck off, Dane.
He's done like the thing of he's a short king. However, he was also played by a very good actor who is Australian
and very tall,
which I find funny.
Hilarious. Dude, Cal, did you Cal, this whole thing with Wolverine being played by an Australian dude was actually kind of foreshadowed in this dropped pilot. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Pride of the X-Men. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So, okay, Cal, you've played you've heard of the X-Men arcade game, right?
I've heard of it. I've seen it, but never played it.
The X-Men arcade game is kind of based off of it. It's a I want to say half hour, close to an hour animated pilot for an X-Men animated show that got dropped, but low viewership. It didn't get picked up, and it was basically Kitty Pryde going to the mansion, meeting a few of the X-Men members who were popular at the time, and Wolverine was in there. And because AC/DC and Crocodile Dundee were real popular at the time too, they made Wolverine Australian instead of Canadian. So, odd bit of history there. Yeah.
I am slightly insulted. Slightly. I love Wolverine as a character. I think he's really neat. I enjoy everything they do with him and stuff like that. But please, just give me a proper real Australian character. That's all I want.
Don't we already have Pyro for that? Or Bishop?
Is Bishop Australian?
Yeah, Bishop's an Aboriginal Australian.
Oh, wow.
I think
I don't know how they do him.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a common misconception. Bishop is not African American. He's an Aboriginal Australian. So, anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Miles Morales was created as African American and Hispanic.
And that's literally, oh my god, he got me angry again. That's literally the only point to Miles Morales. Make him a white kid, and he's just yet another kid playing dress up as Spider-Man. What's more egregious is that at this point, Miles is literally stealing more spotlight from Peter. Like, name fucking one Spider-Man project that doesn't have Miles Morales in it, and it came out in the last, 3 years. You can't, Dane, because Miles has to be fucking everywhere. We are sick and tired of this freaking stupid Bronx kid, or where the fuck borough he's from, this stupid kid who just has to steal spotlight from Spidey. He gets all this attention thrown at him. He gets his own movie duology. He gets his own video game. He gets to be co-protagonist to a game that should have been Peter's all on his own. He gets to freaking be in multiple cartoons that should just be Peter. And he's just nothing. He's a nothing character. He doesn't have any villains to speak of that are worth a damn, at least, which is why he constantly has to crib villains from Peter. He doesn't have any supporting cast beyond his SJW mom and his dad, who's only really memorable because he's ironically named after the freaking president of the Confederate States. So that's hilarious. That's it. He doesn't have any storylines that aren't super derivative of Peter's. Literally, he's only just that. It's no fucking wonder why Eric July calls him Peter Darker or whoever else, because that's exactly what he is. Miles has nothing going for him, and I know that because literally every portrayal of Miles is worlds apart, different from each other. He's got a different personality in the books to his movies and his games, etc. And all of them are going in completely separate directions. It just looks like it looks like Marvel just doesn't know what to fucking do with the kid. Ugh. I had to get that out. I'm sorry, everybody.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine, man. It's a lot of just bad things given up there lately, man. All you had to do was create something new. That's all you had to do. If I was to make a Marvel character, yeah, I may make him Australian, but that's because I want to see cunt printed in a Marvel comic. But that's all I want to see.
Yeah, Dane, how about, again, Dane, part of the reason why we hate these characters so much is because they crib the iconography of the character. I'm sorry, I've totally shifted it to something else. But part of the reason we hate characters like Kamala Khan, Miles Morales, is because they pretty much crib the names and monikers of characters we'd rather see instead. Instead of building them up as their own characters, they pretty much know that if Kamala Khan was anything but Ms. Marvel, and if Miles Morales was anything but the other Spider-Man, then they'd be nothing. How about you build them up as their own characters and whatnot? Here, I've even got something original. Here, how about, how Miles Morales got them stupid-ass electric swords, Cal? Here, let's have Miles ditch
I've never heard of the electric swords before.
Oh my god. Let me look this shit up. Oh, it's so fucking dumb. Electric sword.
So the fucker comes in, steals Thor's thunder, literally, for a what-if comic.
Yeah.
And is literally... it just comes in, steals everyone else's thunder as well.
There you go, Cal.
In
Just posted it.
What if Miles Morales was a more interesting, better written character?
How about that? How about what if Miles Morales was his own hero? So Cal, you see that picture I pulled up and put in the stream text chat? Here, Here's what we should do. Step 1 to fix Miles Morales. You see it?
Do you know? Yeah, oh god.
So, step 1 to fix Miles Morales. Have him ditch his Spider-Man costume, move to a new city, and have him get a new moniker. I'll even provide the moniker for free. You don't even have to credit me. Spark Sword. There you go. New character. Ugh. Moving on.
Shiny Knight would probably be a better one and make him take a little bit more of actual influence from the Arthurian legend. Have him be based a bit more upon... I don't know his name precisely, but there was a character added into the Arthurian legend actually fairly early on. This is before the French fucked it up so much to the point where it is now. Where the character is mixed race. Where there's one guy who is. Because his father was one of Arthur's knights. His mother was a African princess. North African princess. And you could just use that to, like, make your story. But I have a feeling they won't be because, like, they don't, like, know how to write anything.
Yeah, plus again, Marvel is just so freaking dead set. Oh, you mean Morian? Is that his name?
I think it is Morian, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Marvel is just so is putting all their eggs in the Miles Morales Spidey basket that I think they're just too locked in at this point. Yeah, they're too afraid to do anything different with the guy. And I really do think that they're just priming him to just totally replace Peter, like completely. And if they do, oh boy, that'll be a shit show one day. Anyway, moving on.
And Chuds will say that that's some kind of forced thing. They'll say that there's pandering, as if that's just inherently bad.
Citation needed.
They'll say that it's agenda-driven, as if that's inherently bad.
Citation motherfucker, you're literally just strawmanning right now.
Or if that's even a thing you can measure, right? Like, it's all agenda-driven, and like they're the agendas to make money.
Well, they're not making money, Dane. So, like, literally, no Marvel comic book is selling. So, what the fuck? So, like, if the goal isn't to make money, then it has to be something else. You know, that's what Occam's razor tells us, Dane. So, if it's so what? Is it possibly it's something else? Is it a diversity initiative that nobody wants? Is that what it is?
Give us an example.
Yeah, give us a.
Could it be like because everything with Miles Morales, it is just.
Yeah.
Like if they came out today and made an actual just hey, this is an Australian superhero. I'm going to have the biggest fucking just look of okay. Let's see how this goes. But if you fuck it up even in the slightest, no one's gonna care.
Yeah, chances are, given the talent Marvel hires now, chances they'll make him a total bogan and just make him like the most stereotypical guy ever. Like, oh yeah, I really like.
They're not gonna make him a bogan. Bogans are basically our equivalent of rednecks. They're the lower class.
What would they make him?
They're not gonna do that. Okay, some bogans are a bit racist occasionally. I know a few, I've met a few, been around a few. They're fine, usually. Some of them are... They would probably make an Aboriginal, but if they make it an Aboriginal way, it's going to have some slight massive issues.
Yeah.
Because they are very particular about the representation.
I mean, Marvel already has the monopoly with that with Bishops. Like, Bishop is just about the only Aborigine superhero out there, so I doubt Marvel needs more of them.
Oh yeah, that there's a lot of like just not very good Aboriginal representation out there from themselves. They definitely like aren't making people happy to be around them, which is a massive issue for them.
It's just yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
because everything they're like doing is, oh, look at me, we're creating like, oh, here's Kamala Khan. She's a
Pakistani Muslim.
I'm pretending to be them at the moment. A Muslim. She's a Muslim, guys. Don't Muslims want to read this? First off, if you want to actually like go for them, like get them interested, maybe make it male. You're gonna have to make it male.
Yeah.
Because they are very, very sexist.
Despite Kamala Khan coming from like a pretty damn quote unquote traditionalist Muslim family, her family are pretty damn okay with her walking around without her veil on, and also like letting her attend pride parades. Like, I really fucking doubt that.
Yeah, that actually is killed the character and all, for all intents and purposes. Like, oh wow, okay, you're shilling this to Muslims, and they don't want it.
And yeah, and even then, like,
will not want this.
And again, how many of them were even asking for it in the first place? Because, like, keep in mind, Marvel tries really hard to attract groups that aren't straight white dudes, you know, their main and older straight white dudes, their main demographic, to read these books, but like they're just not interested in them at all. Because like it's like chances are they're gonna be into different things, you know. So it's just like, you know, like I remember like, you know, Cal, I remember reading about this on like on Reddit back when I used to frequent Reddit. Thank God I don't anymore. But there was like this guy. He was like he's a big D&D fan, and he's basically saying like he's basically speaking about like an issue they had at the time where it's like, oh, D&D isn't bringing in enough you know, black players to play the game. And he's basically going on about like, it's like, well, here are the reasons why, according to many black people. It's like, one, they don't know much about the game, and those who do, they don't care. And he had like two other reasons, but those were the two main ones. It's like, so this is like the same thing here with like every group under the sun that Marvel wants reading their books, but they're not into. They either don't know about this stuff, and if they do, they don't care. So why bother pandering to them over 10 years later? They're not gonna come. So and this effort to basically bring in newbies is bringing the law is driving the long timers away, which is why their sales numbers are in the toilet now, because those long timers were the dudes who kept the industry afloat after it damn near collapsed in the 90s.
Yeah, and a lot of these people literally just don't care enough to like actually go in. They go, oh, that's cool. Forgets completely about it the next minute because they have better things in their mind to focus on.
Yeah.
But here you have in 1974, one of the most well-known iconic superheroes, period. Like, I think Wolverine's in the top 5. Would anybody disagree with that? I think it's going to be like Superman, Batman, you know, Spider-Man, Captain America, maybe? No, Hulk, I don't know, Wolverine. But like, that's going to be probably... Does anybody else see that? Or do you think that's kind of out of bounds for me to say? Nonetheless, he's almost got probably 100%, you know, 100% brand recognition anywhere you go. Trailing only behind like Batman and Spider-Man and Superman. You see those 3 claws, you see the yellow suit, you know who the fuck he is. And yet, he was created to check boxes. He had to be short. He had to be Canadian. You know, he defies the idea that this is some kind of thing that only started happening in recent years. He defies 2 things.
You literally pause it. If I'm correct, that you literally said a second ago, Matt, and he was created to, yes, check boxes, but also, very importantly, he was also designed to be short originally. because that was a fun idea someone had of, hey, let's make him short. And now that's created one of the most popular characters inadvertently without, like, them actually trying to do it. That's the issue. They haven't realized, oh, people like the character. And they've made it a certain way. But he's putting the thing of, oh, this character was designed for a specific audience. Like, I don't know if I made it correct, but, like, he's designed it in a way, like, in his head. Oh, this character was designed for audiences. I'm just... Hey. Because he was designed. Because, oh, we have a bunch of Canadians. Let's make him Canadian. And, oh, hey, we already have, like, this character we've already designed to be short, small, and stuff like that. Let's say it's for diversity. Let's say it's for diversity, despite no one saying it's for diversity. Only he is saying it's for diversity.
Yeah.
Only you. That's the issue.
And Dane, if it says it in the book, fucking cite it, will ya? Fucking Dane, man.
You know, I think he's trying to do that, but
He is definitely doing
he really
that.
should have. He should have taken screenshots of it. You know, go in, get a PDF of the book, come back, and show us it efficiently. Not this where you just read it off, where you're prattling off about random shit as well. Give us a screenshot. Give us everything we need to look at it. So, you know, it all makes sense. But you haven't.
Well, that's Dane for you. Let's finish this fucking video up.
Some kind of new development for a comic creator, a comic publisher to decide we want to make a character that fits this reader demographic, or at least represents this specific type of person's demographic, right? It defies that notion. It's been around forever. It also defies the notion that
Has it really? Because really, it's that mentality only sprang up in like the last decade, Dane. And it's only your side that constantly pushes it.
It inherently leads to bad characters. Show me the motherfucker who wants to argue that Wolverine's a bad character. Present this motherfucker to me. Doesn't happen.
If
Nobody's gonna make that
Wolverine
case.
was designed the way
But you know, a little sidebar here. I didn't know about this. So
Sorry, what were you saying, Cal? Kind of missed you there.
If he is being designed the way this fucker is describing, then he probably would have been a bad character.
Yes.
But he's not being. In fact, he's not a bad character.
Yeah, see, Dane, the problem isn't in the conceptualization. The problem is in the execution, dumbass.
Like it always is.
Dane, you really need to cut your man bun off. It's draining away all your intelligence.
But you know, a little sidebar here. I didn't know about this. So for a few issues of comics that were coming out at the time, there was little promos for Wolverine's first appearance that were popping up. Pretty neat, you know. They're like, on July 30th, the newsstands everywhere. Watch for it. They knew this dude was gonna blow up. There's some interesting stuff about Storm being like, if you ever looked at the creation of the characters that would join Mr. Logan here, if you look at the other characters' creation that debuted along with Wolverine's second appearance, rather, in Giant Size X-Men #1, Storm is, I think, a product of what was a different character before. Like, there's several characters that the names didn't get carried over anything, but some of the elements of their powers or costumes or whatever did become parts of Storm and Nightcrawler and stuff like that. Maybe we can look at that another time. But yeah, these characters were also created. Storm was, I don't know if it was Storm or the original version of whatever Storm was supposed to be, that was supposed to be like a, these are created, all the characters in Giant Size X-Men, except for Wolverine and Sunfire, because they existed already. Every other character was brand new. Either that was introduced anyway, the new team, and they were
there was one more character. It was Wolverine, Sunfire, and Banshee were the only pre-existing characters. Everyone else introduced in that book was new, but whatever, minor nitpick.
Were all specifically created to be checking boxes.
No. But, all right. I want some. You got proof for any of the other ones? Because where was this huge demographic of readers, of people who just love Marvel Comics in Kenya, or Germany, or the Soviet Union, or Japan, or Ireland, or fucking
Australia,
that's or
literally anywhere.
yeah, or literally
It was
anywhere.
an American. They are referred to as American comics.
Yes. I mean, hell. When Giant Size created, Marvel hadn't even opened up their UK branch by that point. Ugh. Christ on a bike, Dane.
So there you go. Just keep this stuff in mind. That, I know you guys that watch or here watching right now, you don't fall for the bullshit, but like, what I'm currently doing with this anti-fandom series.
No, Dan. The people watching your videos do fall for bullshit. It's just not the bullshit that you think is bullshit. It's your own. Christ.
These kind of things. I'm creating content that I hope will be good for a while. As far as like, I want this
You will kill. Don't quit your day job, Dane. Holy fuck.
stuff to be.
Cal, do you think this dude should quit his day job?
I don't think he has a job.
I don't think he has a job either. I think he's just like me, where it's just like, oh, he's just making these videos and he's freaking e-begging around for money. It's like, yeah, like, hey, can you guys join my Patreon? Like, got it right there, got the link. Just click on it. Give me $5 a month. Really helps out. So yeah, man, just give me some of your money so I can keep making dumb fucking videos like this.
A resource. I want people to be able to go, what was that argument that the actual Fandom made that time about that, and then, Wolverine or something, and then come watch the video, and it'll be a resource. That's what I want. That's what I want to be the legacy of this channel.
And what a legacy you have built,
Good
Dane.
luck, my friend.
Good fucking luck. You're gonna need it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn today from this video?
Nothing. It's a stream highlight as well, which makes it even worse.
What? How many views did this video even fucking get? I forgot. Wow, less than 1,000 over 2 weeks, and he's got just under 8,000 subs. Fucking pathetic. Yeah, Dane, you're really gonna need a lot of luck. Well, Cal, thanks for joining me on this episode here.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm just around doing stuff.
Yeah. So, go on.
I am literally just an idiot with a goddamn too much time on his hand.
Aren't we all, when you get right down to it? Yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for watching. If you like what you saw here, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below what you thought. I'm gonna go get myself an aspirin, and I will see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.